Okay, I am going to do a reading on mediumistic style reading on Madame Marie Laveau. She was a voodoo priestess of New Orleans, queen. They referred to as the queen of voodoo priestesses of New Orleans. Now, there's some differing information on the date that she was born. Now, some put it at 1801, others put it as early as 1794. But she was a Virgo. Her birthday was September 10th. Yay, Virgos! Sorry, just had to do that. Mine's the 5th, so you know. I'm got to have a shout out to Virgos. And some say that she was the illegitimate daughter of a wealthy Creole plantation owner, Charles Laveau, and his mistress, Marguerite, who was reportedly black and Choctaw. Marie grew up on her father's plantation, where she was educated and studied to be a hairdresser. She was a devout Catholic and went to Mass every day of her life. And on August 4th, 1819, Marie Laveau married carpenter Jacques Paris, Jacques Paris, a free person of color from Haiti, and went to live in the French Quarter of New Orleans. Their marriage certificate is preserved in St. Louis Cathedral in New Orleans. It also records the names of her parents, which were Charles and Laveau and Marguerite d'Arcantrell. Marie was described as tall, beautiful, statuesque, with curly black hair, golden lighter complected, and she was mixed race. So apparently that was very reflected in her appearance. And her skin tone was described as a beautiful golden color. Now, her husband was part of a large part of a Haitian immigration to New Orleans in 1809, after, I guess, the Haitian Revolution of 1804. So he was an immigrant, and you have French-speaking white planters, and there were thousands of slaves as well as free people of color at this time. Those with African ancestry helped revive voodoo and other African-based cultural practices in the New Orleans community, and the Creole of color community increased markedly. Unfortunately, her husband Paris went missing and was presumed dead in 1824. Marie insisted that he had died and that she was a widow, and there was evidence that he had deserted her. For whatever reason, he was out of her life, and she had 2 children to raise. And that's when she began calling herself the Widow Paris. So she began working as a hairdresser after his death, catering to wealthy white and Creole women of New Orleans. This is considered the root of her enduring legend, pardon that pun. And many of these women looked upon her also in that kind of capacity as a confidant. So she got to know a lot of people's tea, and about their husbands, their problems, etc. And people's business in more than one way. She also she did some nursing, and which included minor surgery in those days. She ministered to prisoners on death row, as well as taking in the sick to be nursed on her own in her own home. And 1826, she married she got involved in a common law marriage with Louis Christophe Dumesnil de Glepion, a member of a prominent local family, and she lived with him until his death in 1855. But she was always still referred to as Miss Marie Laveau. And though they never married, Marie had 15 children with him in rapid succession, which ultimately ended her hairdressing career because she had to raise all her children. But she didn't lose clientele because as she settled into being a mom and raising her children, she also then began work as a practitioner of voodoo. Not that she wasn't necessarily doing it before, but I think that that's when she really kicked it up a notch. So that's just a little bit about her. And she combined her voodoo beliefs with her Catholic traditions. She used holy water, incense, statues of saints, and Christian prayers, which helped make voodoo and hoodoo, magical rituals associated with voodoo, more acceptable to the upper class in New Orleans society. Her belief included the recognition of spiritual forces, which can be kind or malevolent. And they preside over our daily lives in her mind and belief. And the belief is that connection with these spirits can be made through dance, music, singing, use of snakes. So there, again, is a bit more on Marie that's worth knowing. There's a lot more. I have taken this from the womenhistoryblog.com and shared some with you. I will include that in the reading. So now, without further ado, I'm just going to see if Miss Marie Laveau is willing to communicate through the cards with me and see what the message is that she would like to share with you guys and myself, and for anyone that will be watching this video. And I just ask my spiritual helpers to make sure that I interpret her message accurately. So I'm just going to give over the cards so that she can say what she wants, and I'm just an interpreter. Marie Laveau. Madame Marie Laveau, Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. What would you like to maybe share with us? Being shown the King of Swords. The Eight of Cups, a man who abandons or has to leave. I'm wondering if she's referring to Trump. This is an abandonment, but let's just not make everything about him. This could be about her own life for all I know. Let me pull the next few cards, what she wants to say. King of Cups, I think she is referring to Trump and Biden, because that is both. And Two of Swords, he's more balanced. He's leaving and he comes to bring the peace. Okay. To bring balance. She's indicating to me, she seems to be, she did use divination herself, of course. she's wanting apparently to talk about politics, and we've got Joe and we've got, I believe, Trump. Unless these are the two husbands, but we'll know more here. He could have deserted her. Oh, it could have been her husband. Abandonment. Okay, that could easily be her husband that abandoned her. And it would indicate he really did abandon her. But the next fella she was with was much better, and I believe he may have been a water sign. I'll have to look what his birthday was, even if I said it, I don't remember. Speaking as a Virgo, we get along usually quite well with water signs. So, maybe this was her way of saying the second man, the second husband, was a better fit. And was there day or night. This fella, she's saying, there is abandonment. And it seems like he would have gone pretty far out. Away from their local area. Let's just see. I'm going to say that she's speaking to about the husbands, perhaps. I'll know more here in a minute. Princess of Wands falling under that King of Swords. Princess of Swords. Yeah, I think she's talking about her husband. I'm feeling like she was saying he really wasn't ready to settle down yet. There were things that he had to prove to himself yet and explore, and he just wasn't ready to do that. He was not settled down. He was still very, very immature, despite being considered an adult. So I don't feel, from what she's showing me here, that this man was too keen on the ideas of, responsibilities of marriage and commitment. It does take a mature person or someone willing. Now here we have the Empress. And here we have death. I think she's talking to me about her own life. And when he left, that's when her life underwent a radical change. And I believe then she became a mother with this second husband. And like a rebirth is what she's telling me. And I'm just getting from her, she's like, it was the best thing for her that this guy left her. Because that's how she discovered and came to be and figure out the strength of what she could offer in her life. And her identity. And yes, she certainly, with having had all those children, was certainly fertile. So I do see her as the Empress and as the wife of this man, her King of Cups. Such a transformation between, I feel like she's pointing out to me, between these two men and how her life changed. And she grew to be more and realized who she wanted to be and what she needed to do. She was a very nurturing person. I'm getting that too. And so that all that stuff about her taking people in, trying to help people, makes a lot of sense. And also being very protective of other people that were vulnerable. She had very maternal streak. Very caring person, actually. But don't get it twisted, because she had serious power with the Empress and the Death card. Yeah. And that tells me she worked a lot with I feel like the spirits of the other side, the spirit of death itself. And helping to heal people, transform their lives. Death is a power of transformation if it's in its proper, dignified role. Three of Discs. Working with other people. Yeah. And I feel like movement here. There was movement. Working with other people. Other people traveled to her. They came to her, man. And I think from some faraway places, even. She was very successful. And she feels, I think, a great deal in part to that husband. Her common-law husband. Ace of Cups. She felt that it was a very fulfilling life. A very fulfilling life. And successful. And she came what she set to do. There's a lot of healing energy, I feel, with that when I'm looking at that Ace of Cups with that Chariot. I think that she's like, she did not have a dull day. She was like constantly, since there was no telephones and things like that, people were having to see her in person. And so she was educated, she could read, and she could handle her business. So I think she just was a medicine woman. She was a holy woman, a voodoo priestess. Through and through. I feel like she's saying the common-law husband was just made it possible for her to become who she did become and is. Made that possible. And I don't feel necessarily any hard feelings towards the man that left, because she also feels like, had you not left, I wouldn't have met him. So it all came about as it was meant to be. I feel like two. I see three. Got a message here about working with other people, an offer, and there is just, well, I'm shown victory and success. She had that. It was not, it was a private business, and she did it successfully. Let's just pull a couple extra cards. What else she wants to say? The Hermit. And the Three of Swords. It's talking about, she's talking about introspection and soul searching, where there's division. Also, Yeah, I'm getting that stuff with the healing aspect and the surgery again. She did do that. And I get because there's a sense of remoteness also too, and that perhaps in saying that you're lucky to have had someone that had some kind of skill this way, because I'm feeling like it would be few and far between to find people that knew what they were doing, but she knew what she was doing. And I'm getting her sewing, sutures. Into her elder years. And an expansion again. Again with, I feel, maybe for her daughters or her children. So that confinement and waiting. Look at that, another 4. And a Queen of Wands. Peace. Eight of Swords. I feel like she's talking about dealing too with people who were slaves, and bringing them care, giving them care, a means to recuperate. I feel like she also may have helped them to hide, frankly, or help them out of their situation of confinement. And there's stability and warmth, giving people hope and energizing them. She really used the privilege that she had, I feel like, to the nth degree. And she went to help others that were, she knew were stuck or in trouble. And truly was a very empathetic woman and protective of those that she cared for. You didn't cross her, though. She learned how to become successful for herself. An entrepreneur, I'm getting from her. And it was also word of mouth in those days. But she became, just think about that, because news obviously traveled a hell of a lot more slowly. So for her to become as well known as she did is pretty incredible. A woman of color, goes through hardships, has, I think, what was it, 12 children? Ooh. Her own business. And the children, this is feeling like were her greatest accomplishment in her eyes. Because that's where she takes pride. Her home, and her children. That she was able to provide for her family the way that she was able to, and help other people. That makes a heck of a lot of sense. Okay. Sorry. Ah, there she is, Queen of Dis, and her family. And, is still, she has descendants and a long family line. This is generation down generation and gift of her. I'm sure many of her descendants may have definitely followed in her footsteps. But she feels she's a proud matriarch of her family and her descendants. I get very proud and embracing. I'm very proud of the hard work that she did in that life, and she should be. Because here we do have loss, where a king of discs is concerned. There was sadness there. I think this is someone that was killed. Yeah. A man that was killed. That really hurt her. She's showing that. There was some kind of instability. It may have been an argument over money. This man was somebody important to her that passed. I feel like he may have been murdered over money. And he may have helped her. There's the Six of Discs. Or she may have helped him. May have been a client. Somebody educated. Maybe even a teacher. He may have taught her some of the things, or taught her. There's teachings. And I feel that they are shared. Shared his teachings with her. So, Tower and Queen of Cups. This looks like she got busy with some work here. She may have associated this death of this male that meant something to her. I don't know if it was a member of her family or somebody that she had taken care of as like a client. But she's indicating she felt like a woman was responsible for a murder. His death. And I feel like she either felt this woman set him up, or she sent her a little something something. There was an agreement, a secret agreement, or a secret friendship or bond. And it may have been also someone who was teaching her some of these, voodoo. And I believe healing. So I don't know about any of that. Now, I've read a fair bit on her, but I don't know about any male that would fit that, ever reading like of that happening. But I'm shown very clearly a man that she really respected, felt had helped her to learn and grow and passed or shared teachings with her. Looks like there's, basically, looks like murder or an attack. I think more like murder, and pretty brutal. And it looks like it could have been, it either is about money or something. They're arguing back and forth, and there may have been a woman involved, another woman involved. I feel like she may have felt like that woman was responsible. She wanted justice. All right, so I'm just going to leave it right around there. I see a King of Wands and a Prince of Swords, a man taking action here. I think that she had some things drama that she had to deal with, and then when bad things, it looks like something may have happened to one of her clients or one of the people that taught her. Some of the things that she learned, and I think she made sure that whoever did that to him got what they deserved. Definitely, she made sure that there was justice coming. So I'm going to leave that there. I think Miss Marie was very, clear and interesting, and I'm very grateful for her for opening up and sharing. I just hope that I interpreted correctly, and if you enjoyed this content, please like this video, and please make sure you're subscribed and share. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.